So you're going to pray for me, huh? Well, there's an old saying. 2 hands working achieve more than 1,000 clasped in prayer. But since you offer, why on earth would you waste a prayer on me when there are children starving to death in this world? I mean, people are dying of AIDS, malaria, typhus, and diarrhea. Millions are slaves, the literal property of other people. When people are being executed all over the world for all manner of petty differences. I mean, when people are being raped, murdered, tortured, all for having grown up on the other side of some ancestral boundary or for having been raised in an unfamiliar faith. All of this is going on in the world, and you presumably watched a few videos of mine about atheism, secular ethics, reason and evidence, and decided that prayer, this incredible mechanism that you Christians believe you have, would be best applied to my salvation. I mean, it's at times like these I really have to question the whole idea of Christian values and virtues. In light of all these things, you still felt the need to pray for me. Well, how fucking thoughtful. If you feel I should regard you as gracious for this little token, and I did say if, I'm afraid I have to say that apart from misplacing your efforts, you are self-aggrandizing beyond belief. And let me be clear, I am doing sweet fuck all to address the things I listed. I'm not a doctor and I'm not a diplomat. On the other hand, I'm not the one tapping people on the shoulder saying, hey, I am in direct communication with God. And it doesn't strike me as all that incredible that he might adjust his heavenly plan pretty much because I asked him to. And good news, atheist, I'm going to put in a good word for you. I mean, what could be less morally substantial? I appreciate that you've decided to apply this archaic principle of wishful thinking handed down from your theological forebears to me, but considering what you know about what I think about what you believe, yeah, how can you expect me to conclude anything but that you're smug and presumptuous? If at the end of this list you wanted to say, oh, but Rob, I do pray for these things, then I have to ask you, what do you think you're going to achieve by praying for me if these monumental issues are as yet unresolved, despite your prayers? I mean, all the suffering and misery in the world endures, despite the prayers of millions, and yet you're confident that praying for me and my insignificant existence is going to have some positive effect? Do you think tomorrow I'm going to wake up and recant my atheism? I tell you what, I'll go ahead and say that the odds of that happening are about as high as this little AIDS and malaria problem in Africa clearing up by morning. In fact, the odds are identical, because if those evaporate by morning, I'd say the probability of my conversion has taken a significant step towards 1. I mean, you honestly think that God's energies are best applied to my conversion, though? I tell you what, why don't you take a month off work, get some no-dos, and spend every waking minute praying for all the genuine wrongs in the world to be righted, and then, if you have a few minutes, start praying for us atheists. This is the Godless Heathen, signing off.